Hi guys, this is Mikey Sensei, Game Cat Extraordinaire from the House of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
And this is Dr. Doom, the motherfucking Game Cat. Hello guys, welcome and
Come and see you live from New York.
We love you guys.
Viewer takeover? No, it's not. It is.
Was it?
Yes.
No, it wasn't. I mean, coming to you live from New York.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every Tuesday and bring it to you live as PSVR Gamescast Live on YouTube. But then we do it pre-recorded.
Yes.
Every Wednesday is Viewer Takeover, when we let you, the little game catch, take over the show. As always, my name is Brian Paul, and to my right, your middle, it's Desra.
Hello.
I didn't come up with a name.
Something Desra.
Desra the Amazing.
Desra the Strange.
Yeah.
Strangely amazing.
To my far right, your left, the king of all VR kings, the name that I can't forgo even if I wanted to. It's Jeremy King.
A long time no be here.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. Who does that?
Oh, I don't care.
I don't care either.
Don't tell me like Disturbed to somebody like that.
It's got to be somebody like
I feel like it's like somebody who used to do heavy and then went somewhat acoustic.
Like a one short named band from the early 2000s.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you. Who introduced the show? Oh, it was Mikey Diaz.
Mikey,
the first
superstar Mikey Diaz.
The first official Game Cat meetup.
The first official Game Cat meetup happened New Year's Eve in New York City.
New York City.
Yeah. With Mikey Diaz, Game Cat Extraordinaire, and Dr. Doom.
Yeah, he works again.
Dr. Doom drove from Chicago to see Mikey.
He drove.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Wow. So they could spend New Year's Eve and they only met because of the channel. How
isn't that
cool is
fucking nuts?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It might be the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as cool as that intro was, I bet there are more Game Cats out there whose faces we want to see.
Yes.
Whose intros we want to discover. And so if you want to introduce next week's show, make sure you send your short, sweet, sexy. I can't imagine it being sexier than Mikey Diaz and Dr. Doom.
That was pretty damn
sexy couple, yeah.
Intro without parole at gmail.com. Yeah, that's all I got really.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fantastic. But they're not the only people we want to thank, are they?
No, the people we want to talk about right now are those who are making this all possible.
Yeah.
Of course, our Patreon supporters. You can see the list right there.
These people.
Not over there. That was
these people down here.
These people down here.
Yes. These are our loyal Patreon supporters. These are people who went to patreon.com/withoutparole
games,
and they are giving us $1 or more every single month. Be aware, if you just donated or you just upped your pledge, this list only changes on the first of the month because it takes me hours to do. So I had to cut that work down a little bit, but we do appreciate every single person who donates to this channel.
Totally.
And we appreciate everyone who watches this channel.
Yeah.
But there are people that we want to thank on top of the people we've already thanked. And why? I don't know why they're all on top of each other.
Why are you on top of it? Yeah.
Right?
But wait.
Big, spread out.
What do you call it?
I'm going to change.
Snorgy.
Yeah.
I was going to say
Snorks?
snork. Remember the snorks?
I like your hair today.
Come
you
on,
look like
snorks.
a snork.
You know, it's still half wet from showering because I got a cut this morning.
Yeah.
And so it's probably going to keep curling as the show progresses. I was going to throw my wool hat on so I didn't have to deal with it, but I realized I didn't have it in my car.
Wait a minute. Everyone remembers the theme song for the Smurfs. Mm-hmm. What was the theme song for the Smurfs?
Come along with us, Snorks, or something like that. Yeah.
I remember the green one that couldn't talk, and he was like, snork, snork.
It really was just underwater.
I had a pillowcase.
Smurfs.
Yeah, it was a
exactly
snork
right.
pillowcase.
Yeah.
The Strumpfs.
We want to thank the people who are maybe the fluffies of the fluffy, the people who changed their name to something the Game Cat. They followed Beauty and the Decay's lead, and they went on YouTube, they went on Google, and they changed their name to show their allegiance to the channel. Now, on topic,
yes,
Jeff Cooper on Viewer Takeover sent us a question.
Jeff Cooper, not the Game Cat, I noticed.
But maybe
not
soon.
Yet.
Maybe soon.
Right? Maybe next week we'll be giving him a shout out.
Right? Next, he's going to be taking
what
the
did
money,
Jeff Cooper say to us?
like all the clean cops eventually do.
He, of course, used the hashtag Viewer Takeover to ask a question on Viewer Takeover, which is sort of meta. Having just discovered this channel and becoming a subscriber, welcome.
Thanks.
In the past 2 to 3 months, I'm curious to learn about the origin and meaning of the Game Cat term. How did that come to be a thing?
It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Games
Cast, Game Cats.
Yeah, it was either Michelle or Brett or me
Yeah.
You, one of us. I
don't
know.
think it was me.
We were all really high a lot of the time. Right? We used to. Do we talk about this publicly?
You guys did last week, I think.
No, but I mean,
show?
like about.
The late night recordings. We just
super
blasted.
late night, and we would just like get edibles.
The edible days.
We'd take edibles before the show, and we'd be pretty high. And I mean, we were talking about some strange things, and one of us said "Game Cat" at least a couple times.
Either you or Michelle. I'm saying that. I don't even think it was Brett.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
And it sort of stuck, and it was one of those things for me that was like, man, I love shows like Podcast Beyond, where like every time they say the word Beyond out of context, that everybody would go Beyond.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool, these kind of inside jokes. And so Game Cat
Yeah.
was one of our first inside jokes.
Yeah.
And it just sort of took off. And now I love looking back at it because I'm like, wow, that was the first of like 1,000 Without Parole inside jokes. There's so many jokes now.
There's so many.
Yeah, I mean, people have been watching us for a couple of years now. Thundercloud just sent me a text recently.
Oh, wow.
Remember Thundercloud?
Yes,
Yeah.
Thundercloud. Hey.
Right? And so I mean, like, if people who've just joined the channel don't even know that why we say the word theater like that.
Yeah, I can't say it anywhere.
Even in conversation.
And I have to do it like subtly when I'm like, hey, you want to go to theater?
Theater.
You know, because they're like, huh?
Theater.
We need a wiki.
We do need a wiki. But that's the answer, Jeff Cooper. So thank you for being our first viewer takeover question of the day.
Yeah.
But to talk about the people who actually changed their name to GameCat, we got to give you a shout out, man. We got to honor these people, honor these felines. So you want to
feisty furry felines,
friskies.
So this week we've got I Sub the GameCat,
Bing,
yeah,
the Frowny GameCat,
Aw,
Bing,
PSVR Mang the GameCat,
Bing.
What's up, Mang?
It's like a
and
double cat.
what's that?
It's like Mang and GameCat.
Mang,
Mang.
And Hotcakes the hashtag GameCat Ordinaire.
A new subdivision.
He's
I
not
like
extra. He's just an ordinary GameCat, which is okay.
I like the hot cat. That's a nice French pronunciation of it.
That was just me.
If there's extraordinaire,
Yes,
and then there's ordinaire.
Yeah.
What's subordinaire? Is it subordinaire? Is it the one with like that's like limping with like 3 legs?
Oh,
Or, like,
yeah,
with only like half their
well,
whiskers.
that's
See,
still
that-
extraordinary.
It's extraordinary.
Because
It's still
unusual.
alive.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Is it differently abled? Okay. All right. So every week on Viewer Takeover, what we do is we really just search the comments for hashtag Viewer Takeover.
It's a thing.
It is a thing. Also, if you want to get your name shouted out for changing your name to GameCat next week, hashtag GameCat, all one word.
It's much easier for us to find that because we're actually not watching your YouTube channel. Like
we
everyone's YouTube channels to make sure everyone changes their names.
Yeah, we don't have
That's
time,
a lot of work.
actually.
Yeah.
We don't have time to like even
Turns out
scour the comments.
There's more than a couple hundred YouTube users, so it's hard to keep track of all of them.
I know, huh?
A few,
Yeah.
a few. So we read your comment, we read your question, we change all your periods to question marks because my word processor changes them when we read them that way because we think it's funny. I still don't think that's not the case.
It's not happening anymore.
That's an old joke that just it doesn't make sense anymore.
Hasn't for about a month and a half now.
At least.
At least, yeah.
So the first question comes to us from Woody the Bluebird from PSVR
Woody.
this week. Writes hashtag Viewer Takeover. I don't currently like using move controllers in VR as I feel that the DualShock 4 thumbsticks allow for better movement control. I'm really intrigued about the 3dRudder controller, though. Do you think this could be the solution that will finally give me the movement control I have needed to supplement the move controllers?
I guess we've got two different things: Move versus DualShock 4 and the rudder.
Yeah.
So I think for games where like motion is really important. Like I've been playing playing through the Borderlands campaign still, and even though I'm mostly the move guy, it's a first person shooter. That's what my instincts are. I need these.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but there's other games where I think interacting with the environment is more important, and I think the move controllers really make a big difference there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm not even going to go into my preferences because it really depends on my mood and really depends on what game I'm playing.
Yeah.
But I think if you don't like using dual move controllers for full locomotion in games, you need to spend more time with the move controllers practicing your full locomotion in games because man, the first time I ever did it I was like, this is a garbage system, this is never going to work, I hate everything about this. But man, now it's like, now just picking up a move controller and just pointing where you want to go and turning with your other controller, it's second nature. It's like I used to be the guy yelling and screaming from the top of the rooftops, top of the rooftops, just on top of the rooftop, like being like, we need analog sticks on our move controllers, and now I'm like, man, it's fine, we're okay with what we got. But now this 3dRudder thing has become a thing.
Yeah.
And what do you guys have? What are your first impressions of this?
I mean, like, I don't know. I honestly don't know because it depends on your setup, I guess, at home and what you prefer to do. I know me, like I'm more of a DualShock guy, but I must admit it is definitely way more immersive, and the freedom of the two move controllers is just unbeatable. Just the way you can just interact and do things, it's awesome. The cumbersome control schemes that people come up with to make you move around in the games, I think maybe that rudder thing would be a good solution for situations like that, you know. But again, if you're sitting on your couch, you're going to be kind of limited to your movements because of you can't turn so much, you know. I know the rudder will do it if you just turn your feet, but I don't know. I honestly, I guess I have to play it before I can really say if it's a thing or not.
And for those of you who might not know, the 3dRudder is basically this, I don't know, disc seems to be about
like Simon
a little
says,
larger than an LP that you put your feet on, and it's got sort of a rounded bottom, so you tilt your feet in the direction you want to go, and apparently if you like want to swivel, you can swivel your feet like that. It's an interesting solution to the problem. I don't know if it's the most elegant, and I think there's going to be a lot of repetitive stress injuries coming.
Unless you're a drummer, you'll be all right.
That's true.
Yeah. My feet will be all right for that.
Yeah, I feel like the more elegant solution would have been finding something that works while you're standing, because I think when I'm sitting down on
you
my
can just
couch,
stand and like use total perfect balance and just balance yourself.
Well, when I'm sitting, so I said it depends on my mood, what controller I want to use.
Right.
When I'm sitting, I am 99% of the time using my DualShock 4 because that's how I want to play. I want to kick back on my couch. I want to play a video game. Right. I don't want to be interacting with the world. That's when I use my DualShock and run around and not have to like swing my arms. And I'll do that with Skyrim and Borderlands for hours at a time.
Yeah.
And so if I'm sitting, I don't feel like I have like full mobility with my feet. I don't feel like my feet are as agile as they need to be for something like this, because I'm just kind of like kicked back on the couch. I'm looking around with my head, but my feet aren't exactly like, you know, they're touching the floor, but they're not like able to like do all the turns and everything I wanted to do. I feel like I'll be sitting forward, you know, like on the couch if I use this thing, and then suddenly that creates neck problems because
and now your legs will be at
you're looking forward and it's a weird angle. Yeah.
Well, it's going to require a degree, unless there's some kind of like, I guess, equivalent of power steering. It's going to require a degree of control of people's feet that many people don't really have. Yeah. Like, you know, if you're doing, say, something like Borderlands, where you need, you know, to be able to move, change directions quickly and all that. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's. Hey, none of us have tried it.
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
It's also a little steeply priced for me to throw another piece of junk in my living room. So.
$119 even. For the PlayStation VR version, and I want the red one, which seems to be only for PC.
Yeah, and also you have to pay extra for those little foot fin rudder things.
Oh, the little thingies there, the Pokeball corners.
So the foot bars that will keep your feet in place will cost you an extra $20, and the black pads that apparently it doesn't even say for traction. It just says for an all black look is an extra $10. So it very possibly this will cost you $150 to get it all decked out.
Yeah. My one concern is how many times have you played a game and you're sitting in VR, but at times you got to stand up. You want to look over something, or you want to see if there's something there. You want to crouch down
and not support my weight.
And then you're on there. You can't. You got to take your feet off, and then you got to get up and look under. Then when you sit back down, you got to like feel and put your feet back on there. I mean, I don't want to discredit the item before it comes out, but it's just concerns prior to trying it.
I'd love to try it out, but I'm not gonna. I'm not spending my money to figure it out. Maybe at PAX.
I didn't even buy a second move controller. That was donated to me. So
I'm very curious about this. We'll definitely. I mean, I'll definitely be checking it out one way or another. And I mean, I know that some developers, obviously, that they're saying that at launch in April there will be 30 PSVR games that support it. Yeah. Currently on the website, they're only showing about 5 or 6. It's not like a huge number.
And they're not the ones you're thinking.
No, I talked to Reggie from Strange Games, and he said that from his limited experience with it, he said it might help with people who have suffered from motion sickness.
Okay,
and he goes in with his limited experience so far, it's working pretty well for him.
All right.
So I mean, you know, so people who have tried it and are even developing for it. So it's okay.
And actually, you know, I just thought about this too. That made me think. Let's think about accessibility. More options to control games for people with different abilities is awesome, and this could be a way to help someone with that. So, I'll backpedal a little bit. This isn't a solution for me, but it might be a solution for you.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, when it comes out, you'll have our full impressions right here.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to say next up, Asia, but that doesn't make any sense. You're up, Asia.
So Arziki. Wow.
Arisk. You got it right the first time. The first time we ever
Arisk?
said it.
Okay, Arisk the Game Cat
Meow.
from PSVR Gamecast Live. #viewer takeover. I was wondering if there could be a motion sickness rating on VR games, just like the ESRB or PEGI for ages.
Peggy
6.
Like 1 for Job Simulator, and 10 would even make Brian sick. I guess we all are unequal when it comes to what causes motion sickness. That's an interesting idea.
How can they measure that and then
That's
put
the
a
thing.
rating on that?
It is very subjective.
Yeah.
So the same game that will cause me to vomit for days will, not even make Brian blink.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a neat idea. I think in general, what you can do right now is like look at the community. I mean, there are games that are kind of notorious for pretty much everybody that
Here They Lie, Robinson the Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's oddly like, Robinson the Journey, if you think about it, like there shouldn't be, but there's something about the way that game is. I had to tap out.
Yeah.
And even though I've kind of gotten a lot better. So right now, any official body sort of thing, well, then you're going to have to get into like, okay, it's very subjective. It's going to be hard to define. But, hey, listen to us. Go on. Reddit, actually, I found a lot of good advice on which games cause sickness. Ignore the people who say play through it; they're wrong. But other than that, you can kind of listen to the community and get feedback that way.
Do they relay it yet to? Is it like a frame rate issue that causes more people to have it, or no? It's just totally.
No one's been transparent enough for us to find that out.
Yeah.
Frame rate seems to be an issue, though.
Because if that was an issue, they could on the packages be like, where it runs on a frame rate, be like level of possibility for motion sickness because the frame rate's low.
But what publisher is going to put that? Oh, by the way, this one's
might
probably going to
make
make you sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like McDonald's. Hey, eat it, and you're not going to get fat.
So this has been a common question. Surprisingly, that's why I included it. It wasn't just Orsic asking. It was like at least 5 or 6 other comments asking if we could do it. If we could put a rating at the end of our review, saying on a scale from 1 to 10, how sick is this going to make you? But yeah, that's. I think he kind of answered his own question. He goes, but I guess we're all unequal when it comes to what causes motion sickness.
Yep.
And I don't want to be the guy standing out there going, this isn't going to make you sick. And then people are going to say, it made me sick.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because, literally, you go and watch any of our reviews, and underneath in the comments, somebody will say, this game made me sick.
Yeah.
And it'll always be a game that will surprise you.
Skyrim gave me a little bit of nausea after a while.
Raw Data made people sick. Megaton Rainfall made some people sick.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Everything will make somebody sick.
I brought my headset to the fencing club for a big holiday party, and I was surprised. There was one adult person who was like, basically, she put the headset on, and I was like, nope. I mean, this was just like the loading screen in Beat Saber.
Yeah.
Nothing was happening, and the second it hit her, was like, no, I cannot do this. And came around. It wasn't a claustrophobia thing. It wasn't. She just immediately started getting dizzy and weirded out. So your mileage may vary.
Yes.
All right, moving on. You're up, Asia.
I guess Obd Blas.
Obladi,
What'd you
obladi.
say?
That's all I'm thinking.
Very possible.
It's very true. Raw data review discussion. Hey, dudes, what's the best bundle and the cheapest route to go? I own a PSVR, and I'm a big first-person shooter guy. Definitely want Farpoint with the gun. After that, I don't know what else to get. I'm not spending over $200
That
for
siren's on
one
our end.
game, so your input would be appreciated. Who gets slapped?
You guys can do it if you want.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't want to.
Ooh,
It's an inside joke that needs to die.
that one needs to die?
I mean, if you guys are still down for it. But every time it comes up lately, I'm like, I just don't feel like it.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of things to talk about here.
The first problem is that all of the great deals on that were happening during the holidays are over.
Yeah.
Right, there was an awesome $200 set. There was an awesome $250
Yeah,
set.
such
And now
good
I'm looking on
deals.
Amazon, and they're all unavailable for the price that they were at. The closest one I think we have to what it used to be was it's a $280 on Amazon Astrobot and Moss bundle. It doesn't even
Yeah.
include Move controllers.
Yeah.
So
what's the Creed one going for now?
it's you can't even get it. You can't even get it from Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just secondary market, and so it's really tough to tell you what to do right now. I'm gonna say, I mean, so what did he say? He wants Farpoint.
Yeah, you said specifically Farpoint.
Okay.
And so there's a bundle. There's a Farpoint aim bundle, right?
The Farpoint aim bundle, so the game
Right.
in the controller.
And I mean, so if you're like the only game I want to play on VR is Farpoint, which is a weird choice, but
It's a good game. It's just
No,
not
it's
the
a good
only
no,
game you
that's
should
true.
be playing.
I'm not saying that it might imply I think it's a bad game. It's not a bad. It's a great game. But if that's it, you can get that bundle.
No, the bundle doesn't even exist anymore in any kind of normal. You should be getting the. You need to get the Firewall bundle.
2 weeks ago, we had a rock solid answer for you.
Absolutely.
But now it's
tough, man. Now you got to do some serious research because all the bundles from Christmas and from the holidays seem to be sold out, and that maybe that means that Sony's got a new plan for 2019, and they're just like letting the sales of all of the previous bundles just sell out until they're gone, and then they're going to introduce something new because you'd think that they sold so well that they'd be restocking these, but if they're not, there's probably a reason.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, if you don't own a PlayStation VR headset, I mean, you got to do some, again, serious research to figure out what the best bundle for you is.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer your question in not the way you want to hear it.
Yeah.
You want to get the bundle with 2 Move controllers because 2 Move controllers will cost you $100 right now.
Yeah.
And you want the new ones because we hear that, like with Beat Saber and in different games, that sometimes the new Move controllers do track better somehow.
Okay.
Like maybe there's just a better compatibility thing that Sony hasn't been transparent about.
Yeah.
But you want to get new Move. You want to get new Move controllers. You want to get the headset, and that's sort of like the most important starting.
right.
Besides a camera.
Well, the camera that should come with every PSVR headset.
Make sure.
Right, and then on top of that, then you need to go out and find the best aim bundle.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get an aim, you should probably be playing Firewall. And so you should probably get the Firewall bundle with the aim. And then on top of that, you can go to the PlayStation Store and probably get Farpoint on discount for like $15.
Yeah, Farpoint usually goes on sale pretty frequently.
I'm just going to say, assume that is not going to be the only game and you're not spending $200 for one game because I didn't want anything but Breath of the Wild for the Switch. So I bought a Switch and Breath of the Wild. So I spent, close to $500 bucks?
Yeah.
What was the Switch?
It was
$350?
It's $300 at launch.
So I paid like $360 then for one game.
That sounds right.
And now I own not many, but I own probably 4 games for it. And
God, I own like 20 all in the cellophane.
VR is like Pringles. Okay, once you get your first one, you're
going to keep going.
Once you pop, can't stop.
You're going to sit there
once you play Farpoint, you're going to want to play, Super Hot. You're going to want to play Borderlands. It's just going to keep steamrolling. Resident Evil.
Yep. So the good news is, though, it's still cheaper than it was if you bought it for day one.
Yes.
So you're not going to get the crazy deals we got last month, but you're still doing okay.
Yeah, Jeremy and I spent like $500 on just the headset
Just the
alone.
headset.
That's ridiculous.
No controller, nothing. Camera and the headset.
I guess that means I'm up. Inspector Gadget Game Cat.
Go Gadget Arm.
This is hashtag viewer takeover rates. Okay, now this is. I'm going to guess Inspector Gadget's first language is not English because I'm always translating. Okay. Mentioning my ways on the channel, I have to get back to you, Evil Grin. Your thoughts on supporting these outside the main channel and early releases or early bird releases on Kickstarter and such. No,
didn't we talk about this last week? Oh no, was it maybe the litter box?
No,
we talked about Kickstarter and games, and I don't know.
Did you have a dream you didn't share with
No,
us?
no, we did. I swear we talked about that.
Are you on a competing YouTube channel?
Maybe. No.
Maybe. Link in the description. No idea. So here's the thing. It's like there are so many games that just won't get made.
Right.
Without crowdfunding. What do I feel about it? I feel like a lot of the ones we see don't actually get funded.
Yeah.
Especially PlayStation VR. So I guess the overlap between PlayStation VR community and the Kickstarter community, that Venn diagram we always talk about, there's not a lot of overlap because, I mean, like Elysium should have been funded weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right? That thing looks amazing. And the last I checked, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's a great way for games to get funded if you can find the community.
Right.
But but unfortunately, like some of these guys are not buying the community. It's unfortunate.
And usually, people with like their first game, it's different if you're a proven developer who's got a track record and a following already. They can just say, "Hey, our next game's coming out. We want you to support us." For me, I do. I don't know. I know we had to talk about this because I said the same point. Like for me, physical stuff like board games or things like that. The developer, the designer has like, this is my plan, this is what I want to make. I need money from you to actually make the physical stuff so I can bring it out. I'm much more behind that than software where it's like, oh, we have a 30-second demo and we have an idea, but we actually don't have a finished game yet.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of these Kickstarters, the money tends to disappear because development is expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for real.
And that Kickstarter, the whole thing seems like it was big. Everybody supported it. It just seems like it's fading out in a sense. People aren't supporting these developers as aggressively as they used to. But because a lot of them did, nothing came out. After supporting.
It's very true. So I guess there was if you remember, way back, we did make a little push for a Kickstarter project that was VR Regatta.
Okay.
So it was like a sailing game, right?
I forget.
And it didn't get funded, right? So, but they're trying to make another push for it.
Okay.
But instead of launching another Kickstarter, they are basically trying to discover how much interest there is in the project before launching another Kickstarter. So saying, there's right now 50 people interested, and they'll launch Kickstarter when they've discovered 1,000 people are actually interested.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to put the link in the description if you're interested in checking out or supporting VR Regatta.
Because it's going to give you that critical mass to start with. If you just hey, I'm a guy in my bedroom, here's my Kickstarter, nobody knows who you are. But I think that's really responsible. Look, we want to get 1,000 people who are interested already, and then we'll launch our Kickstarter. Good.
Yeah, I feel like
Good call.
In 2019 there are so many different ways to get your games made,
Yeah.
and for developers out there, they got to figure out what's best for them, and basically do whatever it takes. It's really, really tough. We're a struggling small YouTube channel. There are 4 million PlayStation VR owners, and we have 30,000 subscribers. It is tough.
32.
It is tough getting the word out about anything. Even in this day and age where internet and everybody's connected and every social media, everything, it is difficult getting the word out.
It's a mass amount of data everybody sends out daily that it just goes over.
Right. So these people who want to sell probably 500,000 copies of their game are reaching out to us who only have a reach of 30,000. It's just an absolute disaster. So we wish there was a better way, but currently there's not really. And then finally, the last viewer takeover question comes to us from.
Is that me?
Yeah, no, it does.
Oh, it does. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's right. From Metcat, the Game Cat Extraordinaire, on Viewer
Faithful
Takeover.
moderator.
Hashtag Viewer Takeover. Hashtag moderating the moderator.
That was the thing last week.
Do y'all think that Microsoft regrets not jumping to VR at this point with the Xbox? Knowing what Sony is doing with the next PlayStation, will Microsoft jump in this next generation?
You're the perfect person to answer this question.
Yeah. So I honestly, Microsoft is many things, but they are really not an innovator.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Not in hardware. They usually wait and to see where things are, where the state of the art is, and then what they do is they kind of plus it. I will still, to my dying breath, defend Windows Phone. That was an amazing OS. It was still I use Android now, and it's fine, but it was so clean and nice and quick, and everything was great. Except they got into it so late that there was no support. Developers were like, why are we going to spend our time on this when I have iPhone and Android? They were not the first console out there. Okay, Xbox came in way behind the game. So it seems like, at least when it comes to hardware, they definitely wait to see what the rest of the industry has done and what's succeeded, and then they try to bring in their version. With the exception of AR, which is what they seem to be...
Still secretly, I don't know. Yeah. They had that reveal, 3 E3s ago? And it looked sick. The HoloLens. Looked amazing with the whole Minecraft situation there.
So at this point, I don't see them... They're also not very secretive either. If they were getting into VR, we would know about it, in a big way. So at this point, I'm not holding my breath on the Xbox VR, but I could be surprised.
We'd be crazy to think that Microsoft didn't already have R&D work going into VR tech.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they absolutely have R&D, and they've done demos of things like that. There's the Windows. What is it called? They have a name for it, but there's a Windows VR thing that ties in with mixed reality. That's it. That's what they're calling it, because AR and VR, etc.
Sure.
So they're definitely, but I'm talking about you go to Target, you go to Best Buy, there's the Xbox, there's their Xbox VR. I'm sorry. You jumped over your comment.
No. It's something that pretty much every. I'm sure Nintendo has their hands in VR at this point. Everybody's checking out VR, but I think everyone is being very cautious in letting HTC and letting Oculus and letting Sony be the first people to dip their feet in and go, oh, is this going to be successful? And until it sells more than 4 million units over the course of 2 years, Xbox and Microsoft isn't interested. Right? They're like Electronic Arts in a sense. They're like, well, we want to do what's going to make us money. Whereas Sony, I feel as though, of course, they're a business. Of course, they're a big corporation. You look at their past, and a lot of what they've done has been very out there, very weird, and very in favor of the developers and in favor of the gamers, where they say, we're going to take a risk on this, and it might not pay off, but like we're going to take the risk because we want to be known as that company. And man, PlayStation as a brand is a brand that has taken a lot of risks over the last 4 console generations.
Which is
and not a lot of them have paid off, honestly. Which is great for us because we get to play all these cool little things. But VR, you can just tell when you listen to anyone, Shuhei Yoshida, Sid Shuman, anyone at PlayStation. Anytime you listen to any of them talk, you can just sense that they have confidence in the future of VR. And so this is a risk that maybe didn't pay off for them financially this generation, but they're gonna push it hard as fuck next generation.
I will say this in Microsoft's defense: if they get into it, it's going to be rock solid.
It's going to be green. It's going to be crazy expensive. But
it's going to come out immediately and be fucking amazing.
It'll be the 360 of VR.
Okay.
All right, that's pretty much it for another episode of Viewer Takeover. Of course, if you want your question read next week, different show. Make sure you put hashtag Viewer Takeover, all one word, in front of your comment. Also, if you change your name to GameCat, make sure you put hashtag GameCat somewhere in the comments, all one word, so we can give you a shout out next week. Also, head on over to patreon.com/withoutparole
games
and give us $1 or more every month. If you knew what we were planning for you in 2019, you'd give us
Please let us know
all of your money, because it's a lot, for sure. And I think that pretty much does it. Also, if you have a short, sweet, sexy introduction for next week's show, make sure you send it to withoutparole@gmail.com. You're fired.
How did that?
As always, I'm Brian, that's Jeremy, and this is Dez. I almost called you Michelle.
Hey.
We'll see you next week.
Next week.
I've been called much worse.